How are you, dear students? It is my hope that you are doing fine and you are ready for today's lesson. My today's presentation will be based on the question, why is literature said to be an art? Why is literature said to be an art? My dear students, why have I decided to come up with this question? The fact is that most of the definitions of literature, or near all definitions of literature, say literature is the work of art. For example, according to Jacobus in 1996, literature refers to words artfully arranged to stimulate feelings and impart understanding. According to Jacobus in 1996, literature refers to words artfully arranged to stimulate feelings and impart understanding. So, you see, there is the word artfully, art, in the definition of Jacobus. But according to Nicholas Ashell, in his book, which was written, the second edition was written in 2017, literature is the work of art that uses language to reflect social realities. So, here again, the writer says literature is the work of art. Now, we need to know, why are all these writers saying that literature is the work of art? Art. So, before we go deeper into looking at why is literature said to be an art, we need to know the meaning of art. And actually, art is referring to skills or techniques that are used in making things. Skills or techniques used in making things. So when it comes to literature, art means skills and techniques that are used in making literary works. Therefore, why is literature said to be an art? Literature is said to be an art due to four major points. Number one is due to language use. So language use prove that literature is an art. Number two, literature is said to be an art due to characters and characterization. So characters and characterization also prove that literature is an art. Number three, or point three, is that literature is said to be an art due to choice and the arrangement of incidents or events. Number four, the skillful use of narratives is also an indicator that literature is an art. Now, literature uses language, but the language used in literature is quite different from the language we use in our day-to-day communication. And why? This is because there is the deviation of the normal rules of language in literature. This is not common in our daily communication. But that is not a problem in literature. Deviation from the normal usage of language is not a problem, because it is allowed under a concept known as poetic license. So a poet or a writer of literary work may decide to deviate the rules of language to fit their needs. For example, when a poet wants to make rhymes, a poet may decide to violate the normal word order, but also to make musicality of the poem. So, dear students, language of literature is well crafted in a way that stimulates feelings of readers. language used in literature is full of figures of speech like hyperbole, metaphors, alliteration, consonants. Those things are far from daily usage of language, and they are beautifully made. Think about the poem Katai. Listen to the following poem, which is full of tongue twisters, and I think how language is used. Katai is a Maasai. Katai can tie and untie a tie. If Katai can tie and untie a tie, why can't I tie and untie a tie like a Katai can tie a tie? Have you heard how that poem sounds? It is quite different from the daily way we use our language. My dear students, apart from language use, there is also characters and characterization. Characters in literary works or in literature are imaginary, but the way they are skillfully or artistically presented make us think that those are real people that we really know. Through characters and characterization, we just become happy when they are doing they are entertaining. But through characters and characterization, we sometimes become sad when they do something that or things that are not well. We also sympathize characters, and readers of literary works are more often finding themselves in a situation of crying when the writers explain things that really touch their hearts. That is characters and characterization. But also characters are sometimes made in a way that is quite different from the daily people we know. You know, for example, in the play Betrayal in the City, we see how the writer crafts the names of characters like Mosese. Their names resemble their past, and Mosese means remembering the past. Now, another thing is arrangement of incidents, or choice and arrangement of incidents. My dear students, in literature, incidents are arranged in a new way, in a way that make you feel like the setting is real, however it is not. When you are reading literary works, you find yourselves thinking, have I ever, it is just like I have ever come across this environment. But the writer may also decide to speak about Tanzania. But when the writer decides to speak about the environment that you know, he just adds imaginary things about the environment. Now, think about the instance. Instance are sometimes arranged in a flashback ways. The instance are just like real, however they are not. They're just imaginary. They're just made out of writers' minds. That's why I say literature is an art. There is some kind of creativity that are used in making incidents. How those incidents are arranged, and how those incidents try to explain things like reality. Now, Literature is said to be an art due to the skillful use of narratives. Writers more often use narratives, especially in novels. Narratives are used they're just using skills and techniques. That is called a point of view. Point of view is what introduces how writers narrate their story. And the point of view means an angle through which a story is told. So a writer of the work of art may decide to use the pronoun I. This is the first person point of view. And when it is used, it is most cases reliable. And you think that, and you as a reader think that maybe the story is really true. But actually, many stories and many works are made out of creativities of the writer's minds. Dear students, do you have any opinions regarding these factors that make up literary work and art? You just subscribe on my YouTube channel and comment. You can also call or reach me through 0782348588. Thank you very much. Ciao.